Hello everybody, welcome back to WDMD 100. This is lesson 24. It's probably going to be a quick one today because for some reason Google, the last lesson that I recorded, Google will not put in my YouTube account. So hopefully this one works. I was unable to retrieve the video from the last one. Very odd. So what you should have seen posted was a thing for a bonus assignment. Some of you I know had asked about raising your exam grades a little bit, and some of your assignment grades as well. So I do have a bonus assignment, and I'm going to go through the lecture first, and then I'll go through and explain the bonus in a little more detail. It's kind of nice because when I taught this class in the past, not as many people had, access to smartphones and stuff like that, and smartphones now make this assignment pretty easy. So it's a fun one. Let's move over to the slides here. So one thing that happened in the other video that got cut off for lesson 23, I wanted to talk a little bit about time-lapse video. And we had talked about high-speed filming, which creates the illusion of the high-speed filming creates the illusion of slowing down time. Time-lapse is actually the opposite. It creates the illusion of speeding up time. So if things look like they're going faster, it's time-lapse. If things look like they're moving slower, it's of course slow motion. Excuse me. So let's take a look at a video. Right. If it'll switch over, right? There we go. It's an ad. We have to wait for the ad to finish.
Kids Edition, the kids' tablet that has it all.
Okay. This part is not time-lapse. They're just zooming in on different parts of photos.
En el mundo habrá un lugar para cada despertar, un jardín de paz y de poesía. Porque
There we go. Let's skip over to the time-lapse part. So there you see things kind of just changing and moving. This is just wind blowing some trees, really. You hear those, if you look at the cars on the bottom, they're going by pretty fast, faster than normal, and it's kind of choppy. That's because what they're doing is they're taking maybe a video every 2 seconds and then putting that together, or taking a photo every 2 seconds and putting that together in video.
de encontrar un rumbo diferente para abrir de par en par los cuadernos del amor, del gauchaje de toda la gente. Y voy a reírnos
Okay, I'll pause it. The reason that the city looks miniature in this case is because on their camera, when they were filming it, they actually use what's called a tilt shift lens. It makes it look that the miniature effect. If you use Instagram on your smartphones, it has a tilt shift effect where you can kind of get that look just by taking a normal picture and applying the Instagram filter afterwards. But that's the reason it looks small. But you can kind of see in the video that it's choppy, things are moving really quickly, and that's not because they took video and just sped up time. They were actually taking individual photos of what was going on, and then they put those photos together into video. Because remember in the last lecture we talked about all video is a series of photos played at, each photo is a frame of the video, and each photo, if you put 12 photos and play them, in succession in 1 second, excuse me, you can make a video out of it. So you can make video out of regular photos. And that's what is called time-lapse or stop-motion animation. The two are kind of go hand in hand, and I'll show you how that works. So time-lapse, the difference between the two, and I'll go into stop-motion animation in a second too, is because that's part of your bonus assignment if you choose to take on the challenge. Time-lapse is where you set up a camera for a specified period of time and you just take a series of photos. And you put all those photos, all smush them together into one video, and it plays this one fast time-lapse video. So we can look at another example too. Let's see if it'll load up here. Beautiful time-lapse of the biggest carnival in the world in Brazil. Oh boy, my connection is not good today. There we go. And a lot of times I'm going to pause it there, and maybe I'll rewind it a few seconds. A lot of times time-lapse will be used to show something like a static scene, but just the clouds moving. When we're sitting outside and watching the clouds, they're not usually moving this fast. Now in the video I'm showing you, when it comes over my feed, it actually ends up looking a little choppy. I would encourage you to go through the slides while I'm talking for this one and actually open the video for a little bit, just so you can see that it's not that choppy. It depends on really how many photos or how much time elapses between your photos. That really determines how choppy that final video is going to be. In this particular example, they were taking a lot of photos pretty quickly. So when you put them all together into the video, it ends up looking relatively smooth. But you can still tell that time is moving faster than what it normally would is if you were just standing there watching things happen. I'm going to skip ahead here and see if it'll load when I actually get to the carnival. And turn the music down because it gets a little crazy. All right, and you can watch the whole video if you want. They also did this with a tilt shift lens, so they look kind of, the people look distorted or miniature. It's pretty funny because I feel like this carnival puts our Macy's Day Parades to shame. It's quite impressive, and you can actually watch, I think, the entire parade on this video. It's pretty neat. So let's see if we can tell the difference. I'm going to show you guys a video here. It's actually a trailer for a film called Timescapes, where it's actually just a natural video, I guess, of different nature scenes in the sky. And I want you to see if you can tell which ones are time-lapse, because the time is speeded up, and which ones are slow motion, where time is slowed down. So this is Timescapes. So stars moving, they obviously don't move that fast. That's a time lapse. Time lapse. It's also moving faster than time, right? Time lapse. There looks like some slow motion. Time lapse. These are all time lapse. That looks like a regular video. Also a regular video. There's some time lapse. You can pretty much guarantee if it shows stars moving, it's time lapse, right? Time lapse. There's some slow motion at the end of that one. There's slow motion, time lapse. Time lapse. Slow motion. They're all time lapse. So those are some examples of time-lapse and slow motion. I think they did film this in 4K as well. So if you have a 4K television, I imagine it looks pretty amazing on it. So let's talk a little bit now about stop motion animation. Stop motion animation is almost the same as time-lapse, but there's a key difference between the two. With time-lapse, you're recording something that is already moving and you're trying to show its movement faster. With stop motion animation, you record something that is not typically moving and you make it move. So here's an example. This is actually an entire music video.
We believe you should only pay once for college credit.
Pause the ad for a second. So what I'm going to show you here is an entire music video. And although it is filmed with people who could move, it was actually taken as a series of photos. So it's actually a girl laying on a bed and the camera is positioned on the ceiling looking down at the bed, and you'll see like pillows moving by and stuff like that. It's a really neat music video. It gained a lot of popularity just because of the way it was filmed. It's quite impressive stop motion animation. So even though in this case, you know, filming a person is filming something that could be moving, you're not filming it in a way where you're trying to speed up time. They're actually taking a series of photos where she's just laying in different positions on the bed and stuff and animating them. So taking, for the most part, inanimate objects like pillows and blankets, and I think there's a scarf in there, socks, and making them animated. So here's the video. Here's an ad before
Last
the video.
year, we accepted over 90.
There we go.
Sun been down for days, a pretty flower in a vase. I slept her by the fireplace, a yellow light in its gate. Soon she's down the stairs, her morning elegance. She wears the sound of water, makes her dream of walking by a cloud of steam. She pours a daydream in a cup, a spoon of sugar, sweet and sour. And she fights for her life as she puts on a coat, and she fights for her life on the train. She looks at the rain as it pours, and she fights for her life as she goes in the store with the thought she has caught by a thread. She pays for the bread and she goes. Nobody knows. Sun been down for days, a winter melody. She plays the thunder, makes her contemplate. She hears the noise behind the gate, perhaps a letter with a dove, perhaps a stranger she could love. And she fights for her life as she puts on the coat, and she fights for her life on the train. She looks at the rain as it pours, and she fights for her life as she goes in the store with the thought she has caught by a thread. She pays for the bread and she goes. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And she fights for her life as she puts walks on the coast and she fights for her life on the train. She looks at the rain as it pours, and she fights for her life as she goes in the store where the people are pleasantly strange and counting the change as she goes. Nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows.
So that is an entire music video shot. And how long was that one? Let me see. It was like 3.5 minutes long. So imagine how many photos they had to take to put that together. Let's assume it was like maybe, at the very least, we know it was at least 12 photos per second, right? Because otherwise we wouldn't be able to perceive that as video. Maybe it's a little less because it was it was a bit choppy too. But let's assume that they put 12 photos per second in there. And how many seconds was it? It was almost, goodness. Oop, I can't switch to my calculator here. Let's see how many photos they had to take. Calculator. So if it was 192 seconds. Let's see here.
The new fire each.
Yep. 3 minutes and 37 seconds. So 217. 217 seconds times 12 is 2,600 photos. So they had a camera, and it probably wasn't even that fancy of a camera. You can do this with an iPhone if you want. And this is why an app is very helpful too, because an app will automatically take a second every 10 seconds once you set up the, like they had a shirt flying across the screen in one of them. Somebody had to go in, they take a picture, then somebody had to come into the scene, rearrange the shirt, move it a couple of inches, right? And then step out of the scene, take another picture, move back in, move the shirt another couple of inches, step out, take another picture. So they had to do that, at least 2,600 times, probably more. And that's if they got it right on the first time, right? So making stop motion animation is not all that easy. So for your assignment, I only asked you to make a 6-second video, not a 3.5-minute video, right? And you can easily do that too with the Vine app, which is most popular, and that of course makes 6-second videos. That's why I made your assignment 6 seconds. However, recently in the Vine app, I've been seeing reports that on iPhones, it's not, the time lapse or the stop motion portion of it isn't working properly. So I'm not really sure if they've fixed that yet. I haven't seen, but I put in the link in the Dropbox a few other resources for apps that will help you do stop motion animation. If you don't want to do it with your phone, you don't have to either. You can take any camera that you have, position it somewhere, and just, snap a photo of something, move whatever your subject is a little bit, snap another photo, move it together. And I think either iMovie on a Mac or Windows Movie Maker or something like that, any of them will put photos together and make it into a video. So let's watch another example. This is another music video. This one was made with moving jelly beans. And this actually became a viral video a while ago. Because of how creatively it was done with the moving jelly beans. And Kina Granis, the girl who is singing in the video, actually laid on a table with the jelly beans behind her, or kind of underneath her on the table. And she laid there and had to make sounds like she was singing. She's not, the entire thing is authentic, is in taking the picture. They didn't just take a stop motion animation of the jelly beans and then green screen her and put her on top of it singing her song, like editing it so that she's singing in front of some jelly beans. She actually laid on a table and photo by photo. They made this entire music video. So we'll actually watch the making of video of it next. So let's see here.
Hush, now let's go quiet to the part where it first started. Cool night, us lying in the dark. I felt my heart was trying to find a place for you to stay, a place where I feel safe. Anything we have known, anything we've forgotten, in the rain, in the dark, we'll lay in your arms I'll stay. Anything we have known, anything we've forgotten, in the rain, in the dark, we'll lay in your arms I'll stay. Take my hand, let's go into trees. Behind the branches falling on our knees. I remember feeling like this part of us would never change. Anything we have known, anything we've forgotten, in the rain, in the dark, we'll lay in your arms I'll stay. Anything we have known, anything we've forgotten, in the rain, in the dark, we'll lay in your arms I'll stay. Follow me, we both know the way. It's always been the same. Anything we have known, anything we've forgotten, in the rain, in the dark, we'll lay in your arms I'll stay. Anything we have known, anything we've forgotten, in the rain, in the dark, we'll lay in your arms I'll stay. 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 In your arms I'll stay.
So yeah, this video was made using 288,000 jelly beans. It's quite impressive. And actually we're gonna watch the making of.
Good news, boys. I used the 2% cash back I get with the Spark Cash card on tape.
It's been a very productive night.
What are you doing now?
Holding a squeegee.
The whole thing I was hoping for was I want to make a video that is very unique and really creative and feels, handmade, which is very handmade, but something that stands on its own and be interesting that people might want to share with people. I was out to dinner one night and I get a call from Greg. He's like, all right, I got this idea. Okay, what is it? Like, okay, have you seen these pieces of art made just out of jelly beans? No, but that sounds amazing.
Jelly bean art is basically people that have created paintings using only jelly beans. And I thought that it would be cool if there was something done, music video, commercial, whatever, that utilized jelly bean art, but actually had it in the movie.
I'm like, it sounds amazing. I don't know if it's possible.
You know, I just thought it'd be a great sort of pairing to pair that idea and that aesthetic with Kina and, you know, Kina's style.
I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, you can try to picture Jelly Bellies moving around and painting a picture, but nothing was quite like seeing what it actually turned out to be.
From the beginning of this process, Greg was very adamant about everything being in camera. The way that Greg wanted to do it was time consuming.
It took, shooting-wise, over a year in its entirety. 2 years almost?
Frame 1, Kina Grant's image.
How many frames are there total?
You don't want to know.
We basically met up at a coffee shop one day, and he kind of had it all sketched out.
I have a friend, Lauren Gregg, who's an illustrator, and we sort of batted around concepts, ideas that we thought would be cool, different environments, different ways that Kina could sort of interact with the background. And that storyboarded the whole video out. Lauren sat down and drew up all the art for me and emailed it all to me. And I took all the art and put it in an animatic. The idea is to make this animation, which was a digital version of the entire video. And the idea is that we sort of match each frame to each frame of the digital version. We have our entire animatic split out into 2,300 frames, 2,300 images. These images are on a computer. That computer is connected to this projector. So one at a time, we project one image down onto our table. Then it's just a matter of matching the jelly beans up to our image until it looks good. We turn off the projector, we turn on some lights, and then we shoot it. We typically use 3 people to make each frame. Some frames we can build in 5 minutes. Some frames have taken as long as 3 hours.
So on the frames that Kina was in, which is a majority of the video, none of it's green screened. I mean, she's there for all of it.
Prior to a shooting, I shot a reference video of her sort of pantomiming the whole video out and singing along to the song. I then put that video into our animatic. This kind of allowed us to see what she'd be singing and give us a good idea of how to match her movements when we were doing the stop motion.
So what we're about to do here is lay Kina on the glass and shoot frame number 165.
Here we go.
Once the beans are good, I lie on the glass in various poses, and then we spend the next 5 to 10 minutes perfecting how I look.
Eye to the left slightly. Head to the left slightly. Turn your head to the left. A little more.
Head to the left, less, go back. Arms down and hand up, and these very strange positions. It's intense.
Turn your head to the right slightly. Move your body down just a hair. And left arm in slightly. Right arm in slightly. Move your whole body to the right just slightly. Chin down slightly. Slightly open mouth. A little more open mouth. Just turn your head to the left slightly and hold that smile a bit more. Move your head physically to the left. Raise that right shoulder a hair. And turn your head to the right now. Left shoulder up touch. Right shoulder down.
Greg was using reference videos that we shot of her, both of her movements and also her singing.
Frame by frame, I really just look at the reference video of her singing, and I could sort of tell like what syllable she was on.
Big A and smile, and you're looking this way. And I'm like, and then he makes final touches. It's all good. Everyone checks everything, and then take a picture. And it is 1 frame down, and then we start again. In the making of the video, there were these random things that popped up.
We went to the turntable and shot her spinning around the turntable.
And then play and sing and look happy while it is spinning around and gradually faster and faster and faster. We did a plaster mold of my body.
That was probably the craziest thing that we did involving Kina.
First, I'm covered in Vaseline, and then over the next hour, they're laying on little strips of that plaster stuff. And then I had to sit there and not move for maybe 20 to 30 minutes while it dried.
The light is so bright.
So the plaster was then covered in jelly beans and put back on me on top of the table, and then just cut up and explodified, basically to make it look like I'm coming from the jelly bean world back into reality.
Just one of the many ways we've tortured her on this video.
I mean, it was crazy, but I was like, it's fun. I mean, it's been such a labor of love. Everyone that's doing it is doing it because they love it.
I think we had about 30 people all in all working on the actual animation part of the video.
Some people came and helped out for a day, and some people worked on it for a year. We had so many people come out and help and give us their time for free.
Everyone was so patient and supportive, and it's not easy for anyone.
Keena was so awesome to work with. She was just always with us and always with Greg and on board to do whatever needed to be done.
Honestly, she put in a lot of hours on this video. She was laying on the board for a long time, never complained once. Really always had a smile on her face.
All right, guys, last Keena frame ever. Taking it 3, 2, 1.
The really gratifying thing about this video is that at the end of every day, or even at the end of every shot, you get to watch what's been done. So while I'm going, I'm really uncomfortable, I don't want to do this, why is he making me turn my head further left? Like, I hate this. It looked cool after the fact. I'm like, all right, Greg, I'm okay with that.
So you catch that? That was 2460 frames, 1,357 hours of time, and 288,000 jelly bellies. That was quite an amazing process. So for you guys, I just want to show you this one more. This company actually called PES maybe, PES. They make some pretty funny stop motion animation films. Oops, I don't want to full screen it. Can't full screen that one. So you can just watch this one. They were actually on the Grammys a year or two ago. There we go.
I think in the past you needed a degree, but now in technology, there is no correlation between the degree that you have.
Yikes, don't listen to that ad, right? There you have it, fresh guacamole. And that company actually has a couple of other really funny ones that are worth watching. So feel free to do on your own. Some of them are actually inappropriate for me to show in class even. But they are a great example of what you can do with stop motion animation for sure. And they've actually, you know, they became so popular with their short stop motion films that they ended up being on the Grammys, which is pretty cool. And I think it was with that fresh guacamole one. So let's see here. I'm not gonna do too much with this last one. It's actually painting with light. So when you can do what you can do with stop motion animation is you can combine different effects with it, and this one is actually really, really advanced. It involves light painting and stop motion. So with light painting, what it means is you can take your camera outside in the dark. If you turn it on and it leaves the shutter open for a while, it'll capture, like, you can capture light moving. And so that is how this one this video that I'm about to show you was actually created. And I'll just show you, I think it's pretty short. Let's see here. If it will load. Oh no. Oh, there we go. 30 seconds. So you can kind of see the shadow of the guy that was creating it in the background. It's actually part of an image of him, and he was holding a laser pointer toward the camera, and that's how he created that. So it's pretty interesting. I'm not going to go into too many details of how it works, so I don't want to confuse you on combining too many things with stop motion. But that's just another example of how it's done. So for your bonus, let's go in here. Oh, and before I forget too, we are going to be meeting in the classroom on December 11th. It's the last day of class. There's not going to be an exam that day. Your exam is actually going to be through D2L. It's going to be over exam week. So you're not going to have an exam on December 11th, but we will be meeting in class. We'll have a lecture and we will have a little bit of review before the exam as well. So here's your bonus assignment. It is to create a 6-second stop motion animation. Go ahead and animate something that is typically inanimate, something that doesn't typically move. It's worth 30 points. It's due December 18th. Remember, 12 frames per second is the minimum that we can perceive as video. So at minimum, you will have probably 72 photos put into a video. And if you use an app like Vine, it will pretty much make that video for you. So here's a pretty cool one, actually. And Vines are meant to be looped, so they'll loop and play over the 6 seconds over and over again. So let's see if I can bring up here's some examples that people have done. This guy did something with ice cubes, or an ice cube. This one is animating a cracker. One's using layers of paper. It's pretty crazy. This one is actually a ad made by Nissan, but it's also stop motion, made with paper. And paper's usually inanimate. Boxes and socks. There's a toy that doesn't typically move on its own, being animated to look like it's moving on its own, right? Looks like it's the Hungry Hippos game made with paper. Somebody made that drawing, and you can tell that they're switching out the pieces of paper to make it look like the person is swinging. That's pretty neat. That one was edited after the fact, I believe. This one's clever. It's using both a video inside the phone and the phone itself to animate. It's another one with layers of paper. Some superhero toys. That one was just done digitally. This one made with flowers and macaroni. There you have it. There's even a hashtag on here for stop motion, so you can feel free to look at just about any. Let me see here if I can. There we go. There's one that's tagged with stop motion. So if you just go to my link in the slides and click on the stop motion hashtag, you'll see plenty others that people have done. Here's one with flipogram. Of course, some of them are better than others. Animating a piece of clay. So there you have it. That is an example of stop motion animation. So that is all we have for today. There is no other assignment, so if you want to get working on the bonus, it's due by December 18th, which is actually, I think, the date of our final exam. It's the Thursday of finals week. But I encourage you, because this does take a little bit of time, to take it or to do it prior to finals week, so you can also study. And what else? Do I have any other? I don't think I have any other announcements. So with that, our next lecture is going to be on what's coming in the future. which is kind of interesting. We're going to talk about, remember I made you guys watch the TED Talk about the guy who made the creepy prediction about how we're going to be ingesting our knowledge as a pill. We're going to talk about that a little bit. So if you haven't watched that to the end of the video, the part where he mentions ingesting knowledge as a pill, go ahead and rewatch that video, and we'll discuss that on Tuesday here online. All right, see you guys soon. Bye.